Who doesn't dream of traveling? We bet that all of us, at some point, have spent our slow workdays planning our pretend itineraries for our next trip abroad. But what if we told you it's time you stopped dreaming and actually started planning that trip? That too by staying within your budget. Sounds impossible? It's not. Let us tell you how in this video. First, you've got to pick your destination. You may think it's challenging to pick a destination to travel to if you've got a limited budget, but that's not true at all. Truth is, you can basically travel to any destination you want. You just need to be creative about how you spend your time and money there. Sure, there won't be any fine dining excursions or 5-star hotel stays, but you can have an experience of a lifetime even without those things. Especially without those things, actually. But if you still want a list of destinations, here are a few. First, there's Istanbul in Turkey. The place is a cultural marvel full of historic sites, great street food, and fun markets where you can shop for souvenirs. You've also got Mexico, Morocco, Italy, Germany, Azerbaijan, Malaysia, and Thailand. All equally amazing countries where you'll find everything from culture, food, and amazing Instagrammable spots. So get ready to become your own version of Emily in Paris, Italy, or Turkey, wherever you choose. Oh, and before we move on to the next tip, here's a little fun traveling fact for you. Did you know that Italy has a free wine fountain that runs 24/7 in the small town of Ortona, Abruzzo? Now that's a great way to save some money on wine. Next, you'll need to book your flight. So you've picked your travel destination. What now? You don't have to book a first-class seat on the most expensive airline to get to your dream destination. Lucky for you, we've got some tips to help you out. So let's say you're about to look for cheap tickets online. The first thing you need to do is clear your cookies. No, not those cookies. The other ones that track all of your search data on Google and other websites so you can avoid exclusive discounted price ads from airlines. Full disclosure, they're a complete hoax. And if you really want to look for cheap flights, do them by deleting your cookies or browsing incognito. Once the cookie situation is taken care of, you'll have two options. One, browse normally to search for flights from your actual location to where you're traveling. Or you can use a VPN to search for flights from a different location than the one you're actually at. Because sometimes airlines will make flights a little cheaper from a different country for marketing purposes. And if you search from that location, you may be able to get a whole different set of prices that could be lower. Neat hack, right? What's better is you can book your flight from that remote location just by entering the airport where you'll be leaving from. Super cool hack right there, folks. So next, you'll need to start searching for flights. There are a lot of websites where you can do that, but for us, Google Flights is one of the best. Now, here too, you can select either round trip or one-way trip options. We suggest picking one way because it's always cheaper and can give you room to extend your trip if you want. After that, you'll need to pick the airports nearest to you and the destination you're traveling to. Oh, and don't forget to check out this handy website called Scott's Cheap Flights that notifies you if an airline has put up a mistake fare. These are crazy cheap fares that airlines put up by mistake, and they're never up for longer than a few hours. But if you're lucky, you may just get the best deal of your life that'll save you some major money for the trip. And with that, we present you with another fun travel fact to save you some bucks. Did you know that Australia has over 10,000 beaches and that it could take you 27 years to visit each one every day? So you know where to go if beaches are where you want to be. And then there's booking your stay. So you've booked your flight and have a calendar up on the wall counting the days to your trip. Don't forget to book your accommodations in all that excitement. Again, a 5-star hotel is probably not something you'd want to look into for your scenario. For you, the best place to search for accommodations is Airbnb. You can book anything from studio apartments to huge mansions on that website, and that's pure magic. No need to book a mansion for yourself though. You're no Princess of Genovia to be doing that. If anything, you're Mia from her pre-princess phase, and for that, you need to save as much money as you can so you can spend it exploring your travel destination instead. So if even Airbnb starts feeling expensive, browse through websites like Hostelworld, where you can book a hostel bed or dorm for $20 or lower. In fact, these websites also offer personalized group tours that you can can pick if you're traveling alone for the first time. A total win-win if you ask us. But tour groups are cool, but if you consider yourself a free spirit and want to make your own itinerary, we even have a tip for that. But before that, a fun travel fact for your ears. Did you know that you're more likely to get jet lagged if you travel east than west? That's probably due to greater difficulty in advancing rather than delaying your body's internal clock. So remember to book your accommodations in advance, and comfortable ones at that. You don't want to be jet lagged just when you're finally traveling. And now it's time to talk about luggage and expenses. You know what the worst part of traveling is? When you're finally out of the airport, your phone's just about to die, and you remember you've forgotten your charger back home. You don't want to be that person, do you? So go on and look for your spare charger now. Order one if you don't have it, because that's one thing you should splurge on when going abroad. Another thing you need is sturdy luggage. We don't mean you should go buy a Louis Vuitton travel set, but something that won't fall on the plane. You don't want to be that person either, do you? Also, maybe invest in a good carry-on in which you'll store your everyday items like your chargers, a book for the flight, a jacket, some socks, and your AirPods or earphones, whichever way you roll. And the last thing you need, not want guys, need, is good travel insurance. It doesn't have to be super pricey, it just needs to be reliable enough. Remember, you're a budget traveler, but that doesn't mean you can't be a smart one too. On that note, also keep some local and international change handy. You can't go looking for a cash exchange as soon as you land. Oh, and don't forget to pack some mosquito repellent too. Take a 6-pack if needed. You can never have enough of those. Speaking of mosquitoes, did you know Iceland is a mosquito-free country? So there's a destination if you want to save up on repellents. So now that you're prepared, it's finally time to step foot in the country you choose. Congratulations, you made it. You've reached your accommodation, unpacked, freshened up, and now you're hungry. Now what? Obviously, you'd want to start your trip and take in that foreign breeze you've been waiting for all this time. But don't be too hasty. First, a couple of things. For one, you need local internet. How else will you navigate through Google Maps if you don't have any? You'd also need Google Translate if you want the locals to understand you. And for that, you'll need to get a local number. And once you check that off your list, go check if you can get a bus or train pass that you can use to travel around the city. You don't want to have saved all that money on tickets and whatnot just to spend it all on taxi fares, do you? And once you've done both things, congratulations again. You're ready to wine and dine with the locals. Now, don't go looking for a McDonald's there. Sure, it may have a different menu than your country, but do you really want to have franchise fast food when you're in a whole different country? Maybe a whole different continent even. Nah, we don't think you're that person either. Oh, also, don't go falling for tourist traps. Sure, you'd want to visit the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower, or maybe the Trevi Fountain with its glittering coins. But don't forget to do your research on the country before you visit, because after you're done with popular attractions, you definitely want to visit some underrated locations that are special for you. By the way, did you know bananas are actually a popular pizza topping in Sweden? Maybe stay away from those when you're out to eat. And last, don't forget to enjoy, because honestly, what's traveling if you don't take 1,000 Instagram shots and make a million stories that people would secretly hate you for? But to make your trip memorable, you need to stay prepared, and we're sure that if you follow our tips, you can make your trip one for a lifetime, even if you have a limited budget. And that's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one.